As mothers, we can really overwhelm ourselves by all the responsibilities and duties that we have to take care of. And it's hard for us to say no to the things that really matter to us. So it becomes this overwhelming full plate of things to get done. And often writing the to-do list overwhelms us even more. Looking at the amount of things to get done and how little time we have can feel like a burden in itself. So in order to reduce the amount of stress and overwhelm in your life, I've broken it down into 5 steps. And one thing to not overwhelm yourself with all of these elements is to just focus on one at a time and see if you can practice that over the span of 1 week. Get really good on that one specific action and then carry it over and pick another one for the next week. So the first one is to find your peace by slowing down. When we're constantly on overdrive as mothers, we're getting the kids ready for school in the morning, all the way up till bedtime and after bedtime. Maybe it's we've taken on a side hustle. Maybe it's studying for school. Maybe there's so many things that are not attended to during the day that they have to be done in the late evening hours. So it's time that we take a moment throughout our day and several times throughout the day to slow down the action of what we're doing in the moment. That could be just simply washing your dishes or getting the load of laundry in. Sometimes we think that moving faster makes things get done faster, but all it is doing is actually working our body up into this frantic, overwhelmed, and aggravated state. So if someone were to come, like a child or a partner, come to disrupt that process or productivity, then we get really flustered and agitated. So in order to keep our peace, we just have to function a little bit slower than we're used to. Again, practicing this throughout the week, just choosing different tasks that you can operate at a little slower speed, you will find that immediately your zen is coming back to you and you don't feel so overwhelmed or agitated. Second is practice saying no. Practice saying no to things that you've pulled onto your plate that just have become too much. Practice saying no to things that pull you in different directions. Just practice saying no. Coincidentally, when you practice saying no to other things, you start inadvertently saying yes to yourself. You start doing things for yourself, maybe by yourself, and enjoying those quiet moments to yourself. This doesn't have to be overwhelming either. It can be done in small increments. So saying no to a yoga class, but instead spending time at home stretching or dancing with your kid is sometimes just the thing to do that's necessary. Breaking up a routine doesn't mean that you're losing the momentum or track on your goals. It just means you're having some more forgiveness and grace with yourself. What do you need in the moment? The third being relieving some of that pressure from everything that you have to get done and managing your expectations a little bit. So setting the bar a little bit lower, because sometimes we've set the bar so high that there's an exceptional amount of pressure, there's an exceptional amount of, oh my goodness, this has to get done, when really, if we look at it, the world will not end if this doesn't happen by this time. There are times where a deadline is particular. Maybe it's signing your kid up for a program in time for them to do it during that season. Maybe there's a deadline at work, right? So there's specific situations where a deadline is necessary, but then there's a lot of other things that we do in our life that there is no need for a deadline. And the pressure that we put on ourselves makes it harder to feel good about what we're doing. And that's really what is important. It's important in feeling good about ourselves, feeling good about doing things with our family. That happiness and that fulfillment from doing things that we can enjoy comes from setting lower expectations. And I know that might sound a little crazy, but don't confuse the two with standard and expectation. Your standards can be high and your expectations can be low. I hold a high standard for myself to be responsible, honest, and stay in integrity. But that doesn't mean that I don't set my expectations a little lower for getting to the park and having a great day in a specific amount of time. When I'm doing something with my toddler, The expectation is that this could go really well, but there's always a chance for challenges to come up. How I respond to those challenges versus react is going to play into my peace and my happiness. Experiencing that playfulness during time at the park is the most important to me. Not making sure that by the time we end at the park, it has to be 11:30, and then by noon, we have to be home for lunch. There's some wiggle room, and the expectation is set a little bit lower than it normally is when I'm high strung and stressed. This next one is really just about paying attention to how you feel. When we're attuning ourselves to how we feel in our body in this moment, we are coming into a place where we can choose something that's best for ourselves and not get swayed by feelings or emotions that bring us into overwhelm or stress, which is typically the future thinking or anticipation of what is about to come. All of these things that I have to do, all of the deadline that is approaching, the pressure to perform at this level. It's anticipating something that will come in the future, or anticipating something that will fail in the future. So that brings a lot of stress and overwhelm. Oh my God, I'm not going to do this well. Oh my God, this is going to flop, or I'm going to fail. That we're anticipating a failure. And our body shows that by showing fear through higher heart rate, higher blood pressure, anxiousness, headaches, jitters, unsettled stomach feelings, inability to sleep, and possibly the attention span that maybe could be looked at as ADHD, but we're just so frantic by what is about to come that we can't just settle into the body and settle into this moment. Before I had mentioned that sometimes you just have to say no to something that either you have prior commitment to or is something new. You at any moment, you have the opportunity to make a choice in each and every moment of your life. And you are allowed, give yourself permission to change your mind. If that is something that is hard to do and you feel the resistance to do that you are disappointing other people and that really doesn't make you feel good, you might want to explore that in a little bit deeper way. But ultimately, attuning yourself to your feelings and your emotions brings you back to the present moment. When we get stressed, we are either dwelling on something that happened in the past or feeling anxious about or worrying about what's in our future. So I hope some of those were helpful and you are interested in bringing at least one of those into your routine and really practicing them to help manage and reduce your stress on a regular basis. If you like this video and you want to check out more, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button so that you can be notified for the next video every Wednesday, where I will share with you how to create a vision and lifestyle that is all in harmony. See you next week. Tails. I don't even remember. I missed the numbers. Fourth. My numbers are all off. Hi, thanks for listening. Before you head over to my next video, I just wanted to share with you a couple opportunities that you don't want to miss out on. One being my private Facebook group for women that's free for you to discover more truth, wisdom, and passion by uncovering those layers and stories and old beliefs that are no longer serving you. The second being webinars that I host yearly for breaking through old patterns and mind traps, leaning into and building your trust and confidence, as well as working with the 3 Ps, passion, purpose, and performance. And last but not least, my small group for overworked and undervalued moms, where you'll learn how to switch your energy of frustration and overwhelm into peace and power. I'll link all of those opportunities below, and I'll see you next time.